I had an experience a couple of years ago when I was a patient in the hospital and I would see ghosts in that hospital walking around. And I never made a video about it because there's a lot of people who attack and get mad when you talk about things like this. And something I want to say is that there's a lot of psychics and mediums who venomly say there's no such thing as ghosts, there's no such thing as a lost spirit. And here's what I want to say. And if you followed my YouTube channel for any amount of time, you will know that I fully and wholeheartedly believe in this. No one can tell you what is real but you. No one can tell you what you have experienced but you. Just because these psychic mediums that venomly say this is not true have never experienced it doesn't mean it's not true. When you're going on social media, you have to use your own discernment. You have to use your own intuitive knowing. Don't just believe what somebody else says to you. Now, over the years that I have done this work, I started my spiritual journey in 2014. I have come across so many people that have seen ghosts, that have seen lost souls or lost spirits, that have seen demons or entities. And I'm not saying this to scare you. Because believe me, when you are in your power, these things leave you alone. When you're scared and weak and frail and fragile and afraid, that is where they have the power over you. When you stand tall and firm, get the hell out of here. They don't mess with you. And that's what I literally say. Get the hell out of here, pound sand, go away. Okay? Just because someone has not experienced something in their own personal reality does not mean it's not real and not true, okay? So when you come across psychics, mediums, Reiki healers even, whomever in the spiritual community, and they're trying to tell you, you can't, you won't, that's not true, don't believe that, this isn't real, swipe, keep going. There is nothing that's going to tell you what's real more than you, your internal compass. Now, with all that said, I want to get into the story. With all that said as well, I want to say that I might not have believed it either had I not experienced it several years ago. And I was working with another medium as a mentor, and she is a paranormal rescue medium. Her name is Diana Palm. She's here on YouTube. Friggin' amazing. Okay, you've got to look her up, subscribe to her channel. I was working with her, and she had a course on paranormal rescue mediumship. And I said, you know what? I'm going to take this. I want to see what it's about. And again, because I don't believe in somebody saying that's not real, I'm going to find out if it's real for myself. I don't want to take what you say. I want to find it out for me. I want to know for me. I want my internal compass to tell me what's real or not. So anyway, I took this course. It was so amazing. And I definitely feel like I was led to this course. So I'm in the hospital. I have a medical condition with my intestines. It's genetic. And every 4-ish, 5-ish years, I have a really big complication with it. So I was in the hospital for about 4 or 5 days a couple years ago. And I'm lying in the hospital and I could feel someone standing right here. But it didn't feel like a normal spirit. When I feel your loved ones, I feel love and joy, compassion, unity, togetherness. I feel excitement, I feel happy, I feel joy. I can feel them vibrating in the most beautiful way. But this spirit here, it was just there. It was like a void spirit. There was no feeling, there was no light, there was no love. Now, I was not scared, but it was just there. And I started to be able to see him. It was a man. I started to be able to see him, but he wouldn't talk and he wouldn't move. He was just right there in my room. And at one point I said, "Are you lost?" And he said, "Yes." And I was able to say, if you go towards the light, you'll be able to feel, you'll be able to see, you'll be able to love, you'll be able to be in a vibration of happiness. And I, with my intention, opened a white light portal with, again, the intention of it being connected directly to God. And I saw him go in it, and I never saw him in my bedroom again, my hospital room. And then 2 days later, once I was healed and able to move, I had to walk the hallway. And I'm walking the hallway and I could see and feel more of these ghosts, if you will. They were in the rooms. They weren't hurting anybody. They weren't bothering anyone. They're just there. It was nothing scary. I did not feel scared whatsoever. Then I go, after I'm done walking the loop, I guess, if you will, in the hospital hallways, I go back into my room and there's a little girl standing there. And she was scared. She was lost. She didn't know what to do. She kept telling me, I can't find my mommy. I'm looking for my mommy. And I said, well, where is she? And she said, she's in this room. And there was nobody else, just this little girl. And I remember back to the training that I did with Diana Palm, the paranormal rescue mediumship. She talks about how to distinguish between what is a ghost and what is a spirit. Okay, the ghost is lost. The ghost is here on this earthly plane. They don't feel, you don't feel any emotions coming from them. They really don't have a clear understanding of what's happening, whereas a spirit, you feel love, you feel amazing vibrations, they're happy, they have memories, they can share, they give you information, okay? There's a distinct difference. And I remember thinking back to the course, how she told us about the difference. And again, I had never experienced this before, but I didn't want to let someone else on the internet telling me lost souls are not real. I didn't want that to affect what I felt. I wanted to experience life, love, souls, spirits, ghosts. I wanted that experience for myself to tell me what I believe in. And I highly recommend that for everybody. Find what you believe in. And when I saw her, I, in my internal compass, knew right then and there that she was a lost soul. I knew it, I felt it, I believed it, and I sensed it. Now, this is the first time I'm experiencing this man and this little girl. And so I opened the portal directly to God, and she didn't go in. And the gentleman had just gone right in. Now, she's standing there, and I'm thinking back to my paranormal rescue mediumship course with Diana Palm, and she talks about how spirits are confused. And she kept telling me that she was looking for her mommy, and she couldn't find her mommy. And I said, well, what happened? She says, I lost my mommy in here. And I said, is your mommy with you? Do you see her anywhere around you? And she said, no, I can't find her. And I kept trying to get information out of her about what happened. And I just kind of intuitively knew that this little girl passed away in the hospital. She was having a surgery and she didn't make it out of the surgery. And her mom obviously had left the hospital and had moved on with her life. And she couldn't tell me how long she had been there. And my intuitive knowing told me it was many years that this little girl had been there. And I said, if your mommy's waiting for you, she's going to be in the light. Your mommy's going to be in that light. And I kept telling her, which is what Diana Palm talks about, how to rescue them, telling them that the light is where love is, that the light is where your loved ones are, the light is where God is. And she told me that she was just scared, which is another sign of a ghost. A spirit who is fully healed and loved, they're not afraid because they know God is everything. God is you, God is me. They are feeling love, feeling happiness, joy, compassion, togetherness. They're with you, they feel you, they love you, they experience what you're experiencing. But a ghost is someone who's stuck and they don't really understand or they don't really know what's happening. And so through my training that I got with Diana, I knew to just talk to her calmly. I knew to let her know that I could see her. I knew that to let her know that she was safe. I knew to let her know that God and love and light and her mommy and the energy of her mommy, whether she was in spirit or still alive, she would be able to access that in the light. And I remember her holding this teddy bear. It was a brown teddy bear. It had a white ribbon on it, and she was holding onto it. And then she had really curly ringlets in her hair, brown hair, like a sandy brown blonde curly hair, very sweet, innocent little girl. And I said, you will find what you're looking for in this light. But I didn't want to pressure her to go because we have free will and Diana Palm teaches you that. And so what I did was I set the intention to leave this white light in my room. And I said, whenever you're ready to go, it's here for you. Now, this was like the second or third day that I was in the hospital, and I had stayed for 2 more days after this. And I'm not kidding you, I would see spirits come into my room and go into that light. and come into my room and go into that light. There were spirits in the hospital that knew I had put that there, and I would see them go through. Now listen, I know that sounds crazy. 100% I know it sounds crazy. And that's part of the reason I haven't made this video. This happened years ago, and I can remember every detail, every color, every spirit, every ghost that I saw. And I know it was so real, so visceral to me. But there's people who are going to attack. And I promise you this happened to me. Okay. I'm just afraid because people are just going to attack because they don't believe. But a lot of the people that don't believe, it's because they've never experienced it, or they're not open to it, or it's not part of their mission. And Diana Palm talks about this too. This paranormal rescue mediumship, this is part of Diana's mission and why she's here. And I also believe that's why she can see it and experience it and interact with that part of the spirit world so well. So maybe these people that are telling you it's not real, it's not part of their mission, and they're not supposed to see it. They're not supposed to interact with it. Why I was able to, I don't know, but I'm glad. I'm thankful because I could feel the moment a spirit would go in. I cannot tell you the amount of love that reverberated back. I just, even right now, just breathing it in, I could feel it. It fills my lungs, even years later, with words I can't, love, compassion. I can't even give you the right words in English that I felt every time I felt a spirit go through there. And I think this reverberated feeling is what was attracting them into my room. And the little girl said to me right before I was getting ready to leave, I'm ready to go. And I said, it's okay, your mommy's gonna be there. Whether you see her there or you're able to see her in the physical world, your mommy's there. And she's waiting for you and ready for you. And she thanked me. Thank you, thank you, thank you. 3 times. And she went into this light. And again, this huge white golden energy, it reverberated back to me. And I knew she was safe and I knew she was okay. I was able to connect with this girl maybe 30 minutes later. Because I'm getting ready to leave the hospital, maybe an hour, 30 minutes to an hour later. And I'm getting ready to leave. And as I walk out the door, they have to wheel you in a wheelchair when you're a patient. They wheel you to the door. And then I get up to walk out. And as I stand up, my head kind of gets lightheaded. And I know for me, that's when I'm starting to connect. And I could see her standing over here off to the side of the road. And I could telepathically, intuitively know she was saying to me, thank you. You saved me, and I don't know how to thank you. Like she was able to fully communicate now that she was in spirit. She was able to fully understand what was happening, and I could see her standing there. And she was in this beautiful golden glow, whereas before she was like dark and gray and kind of misty. And I'm seeing her standing there in this beautiful golden glow, and she's able to communicate back to me. Thank you so much. You saved me. You don't know what you've done for me. All of the other souls that you have helped are here and they want to thank you. And I've never told anyone this story, but I was in a class today with my students and I was telling my students, you need to share your experiences. You need to share what's happening. What are you channeling? What are you receiving? And I thought, you know what? I need to take my own advice. The things that are happening to me and around me with my spiritual journey, I need to share it. And people are going to judge you no matter what you post. No matter what you post, good, bad, up, down, your hair's done, your hair's not, your clothes are shabby, your clothes are not. People are going to judge you and they love to leave comments. Let it go. Share your stories. What have you experienced with spirit? Have you come across a spirit that doesn't seem to be feeling anything? And maybe it feels like a void. That's how I describe that man. He felt like a void. And the little girl that I saw, she felt like a void and she felt lost. Okay? Have you experienced that? Are you afraid to talk about it because you're afraid to be ridiculed? Or maybe you've come across scrolling through TikTok or Reels, whatever they are, and somebody's saying to you, that's not real. You can't do that. That's not real. Don't believe everything you hear. Believe it through you first. Okay? If you see somebody saying it's not real, okay, that's your opinion. Check. I've got that here, but I want to find it for myself. Share your experiences, share your knowledge, share your spiritual stories. You don't know who you could reach and help. When I first started this journey, you can go back to my YouTube videos at the very, very beginning. They're kind of awkward because I didn't know how to talk to a camera. I made several videos about seeing really scary faces when I first started my spiritual journey, and they would scare the hell out of me, but I figured out how to get rid of them. And spoiler alert, it's telling them to get lost, okay? If you're not afraid of them, they don't bother you. I'm dead serious. Tell them to get away from you, they won't bother you. But there were so many people that left me comments, hundreds of comments saying, thank God I found your video. Everybody's making me feel crazy. People are telling me this isn't real, but I know it was. Your video helped me understand. Your video healed me. I knew I really saw them, and thank you so much for posting this. You don't know who you're healing and helping. So make that video, post that video, talk about what you're experiencing on your spiritual journey, your awakening, mediumship, psychic. Talk about it and post it. That's how we help each other grow. That's how, as a humanity, as a collective, we grow and learn together. I'll catch you in the next video.